BFTB, best fight the best. So, shout out to the LDBC and all the family. So, full disclosure, I didn't do my duck week video today because I wanted to watch how the voting turned out. So with that being said, my last day in Duck Week is not going to be a video. It's going to be a live stream. It's going to be a live stream. And I'm telling you, it's a banging. It's a banging. A banging. Be a lot of hurt feelings. But anyways, I'm just going to jump right into it, man. I want to let y'all know how champions speak. You know, how fighters who have no fear, how fighters who want all the smoke, how fighters who want fights, how they speak. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't start here. It wasn't in this era where it started at. You know what I'm saying? There was fighters back in the day, legends, you know what I'm saying, i.e. Muhammad Ali, and so on and so forth, you know, that were calling for that work. They were calling for that smoke at all times. You know what I'm saying? They were calling for it. I mean, but here we are in this new era, and I'm going to start calling it the after Mayweather era. You know what I'm saying? The after Mayday. It's like here we are where people don't really want to, they're doing one of two things. Either they don't want to call somebody out, you know what I'm saying, because it'll make them look soft. So they're just like, all right, well, I'm not going to call them out so I can try to maximize my dollar and I can build my money the most that I can. And this is another thing what After Mayday has done. You know, After Mayday has changed the perception of boxing. You know, before it was boxing is a business. That's what it was before. And that's how it was played as. That's how it was talked about. It was more about boxing being the business. Nowadays, it's my business is boxing. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is nowadays. You know, nowadays, they're all businessmen. And their business happens to be boxing. They're all businessmen. And it's refreshing. It's refreshing to see fighters that are actually fighters first and then businessmen. It's refreshing. You know what I'm saying? It's refreshing. So when you look at a Jarrett Hurd, you know what I'm saying? When you look at a Charlo, when you look at a Wilder, when you look at a Lomachenko, you know, and both Charlos, when you look at those guys, it's refreshing. You know what I'm saying? It's absolutely refreshing, which is the reason why a lot of boxing fans gravitate toward them. You know what I'm saying? It's why a lot of casuals gravitate away from them. This is the same reason why. You know, they're one and the same. Casuals, well, they are flash in the pants. They are spur of the moment. They are what's hot right now. You know what I'm saying? That's what they are. That's what casuals are. Because they don't know no better. So, I mean, I get to the point where I started out frustrated with them. Man, I'm still frustrated. I'm not even gonna front. Fuck them. You know, we all need, well, they need the casuals, but no, don't come at me with that bullshit. Don't come at me with that. Because I have no problem with fucking flaming you guys. None at all. But anyways, it's like the Charlos, you know what I'm saying? The Jarrett Hurds, the Lomachenkos, the Deontay Wilders, you know, that type of fighter, that breed of fighter, you know what I'm saying? Where they're just about it. The Luis Ortizes. I mean, I don't want people to forget about Luis Ortiz. Just because he lost, he's still about it. He still wants that action. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want people to forget him and leave him out the picture when it comes to this breed of fighter. You don't see Luis Ortiz turning people down. You don't see that. You don't see it at all. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm looking at this new breed of fighter, this after Mayday fighter. You know what I'm saying? This after Mayday fighter is just like not the fighter that I look towards for making any type of good fights, because all they're thinking about is what Floyd Mayweather did at the end of his career. That's all they're thinking about. All they're thinking about is, oh, well, you know, I can't fight Lomachenko right now. I got to give him 7 years and let this fight build up. So then, you know, then now he's old. I'm still young, but I'm older. But I'm still young. I'm younger than him. So, you know, his name is still Vasily Lomachenko. So when I beat him, I will still have Vasily Lomachenko on my resume. Don't matter if he's old as dirt. You know, don't matter about that. Don't matter if he's years and years past his prime. It's still his name. You know, it doesn't matter. It don't matter if I have Deontay Wilder on my resume. It don't matter. You know, when he was, you know, 40-0, 39 knockouts, devastatingly dominating, just destroying everybody. You know, he was too raw, too powerful. You know, he was too much into his game at that time. So we had to put his ass on ice, wait about 2, 3, 4 more years, you know what I'm saying, until he started to wear down a little bit, because he's already in his 30s, you know, and then we fight him. It's still Deontay Wilder. I still put him on my resume. His name is still the same. He's just not as good as he was back then. You know, there's some steam out of his punch. So it's not, I'm not so worried about it now as I was back then. That's the type of fighter we have nowadays. That's the fucking type of coward fighter we have. It's, oh yeah, you know, it's still Jamal Charlo. I still have Jamal and Jamel Charlo. They're still on my resume. When you look at my box rec, you still see Jamal Charlo's name. You still see Jamel Charlo's name. You still see it. Yeah, when they were dominating and calling everybody out, that was like 4 years ago. So, yeah, their name didn't change. They're still the same person. They might not be who they were then, but hey, their name is still the same. You know, I still got Jamal or Jamel Charlo on my resume. They're still the same person. They might have lost some steam and some aggression. You know what I'm saying? Got a couple of M's. They're touching M's now. You know, so you know they're not as hungry and aggressive anymore. So I fought them at a different time when their hunger and aggression wasn't as hungry and aggressive. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it's still Jamal Charlo. It's still Jamel Charlo. They're still on my resume. That's that after Mayweather talk. The after Mayweather. The hold up. Let me sit back. Let me plan this out. Let me fucking look to make sure, you know, that I don't fight these guys right now, because, you know, I can build this up for a little bit and I can make this something that people say it isn't, but I know it is. So let me build up this fight and make it a pay-per-view, so I can rob the public of money. Let me build this up, even though I'm a millionaire already, and this guy's a hungry lion. Let me just not fight him yet, because, you know, I might get my ass whooped, or it might be such a tough fight that it takes some years out of me. So let me just hold off. Let me wait a year, 2, 3, maybe 4, until until I feel I'm comfortable and I'm in a position that he's not, so that I can beat him. That's the after Mayweather talk. That's the after Mayweather shit that goes on in boxing right now. And the funny fucking part about that is, Mayweather didn't even do that. That's the funny part. You know what I'm saying? When he fought Pacquiao, it was, you know, they were both past their era, where they were both, you know, dominant figures. But that was not by design. You know what I'm saying? That was not something that Floyd was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. I want to age him out. I want to get him out his prime. That was not by design. That shit just happened to happen because the cards fell that way. The cards fell that way. You know, Pacquiao was probably juiced to the gills and didn't want to take no fucking blood test to prove anything. But it's funny, but now he's taking blood tests for every fucking fight. You know what I'm saying? So he was probably juiced to the gills and he didn't want to lose anything. So, you know, it was just like, well, fuck it. You know, I'm just going to hold off. I don't need him right now. I'm making M's. You know what I'm saying? I'm making so much bread. You know, it's just bonkers to me, man. It's absolutely bonkers how these guys are nowadays. As so when you sit back and you look at it and you're like, damn, you see all these people, and then it's the casuals, man. You see the casuals doing the same shit. The casuals are like, oh, well, there's no money in that fight. Back in the day, nobody gave a fuck about how much money it was in the fight. They didn't care. They looked at Tyson and shit like that after the fight, and it was, oh, well, dang, he got a fucking tiger. He's got a lion. He's making millions. He's making so much money. They didn't give a fuck about that, how much money he was making prior to. You know what I'm saying? Prior to, they didn't care. It was, he's about to go and he's about to destroy this guy. That's what they focused on. But the focus is different nowadays. That's why I'm saying back then, it was boxing is a business. With the boxing first. You know what I'm saying? The boxing was first. It was, all right, well, damn, we want to get this fight. We want to see this fight. We're getting the fights that we actually want. People, we don't have to wait 94 years for we don't have to wait 94 years for fucking Holyfield to fight Tyson. You know what I'm saying? We're actually going to get that fight, and then we're going to get a rematch. You know what I'm saying? And even though that fight was supposed to happen before Mike was fucking falsely accused and whatever. But it was boxing is a business. Boxing is a business, right? They actually boxed. Now their business is boxing. They're all businessmen. They do business first. Then if the business makes sense, then they box. That is it. It's disgusting to me. Looking at how the sport is right now, it's disgusting. So when I sit back, and we see a Jarrett Hurd that says, "What? Listen, I'm gonna be at that fight." You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be at that fight, and if they say something about me, I'm trying to get in the ring. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Charlo that says, "Say something about you." We been wanted that smoke. What you talk about? Say something about you. I'm saying, look, we want all the smoke. We want everything. There you go. There is me saying something about you right now. Well in advance. I love it, man. I love it. This is what we want Terrence Crawford to do. This is what we want Errol Spence to do. The world knows what fight people, they know what fight they want to see. Like, the world knows what fight they want to see. They don't need to sit back and get tune-ups after tune-ups. They don't need to sit back and wait for you to decide that you got courage, or wait for you to decide that it's a right time to fight somebody, to put them on your resume. You know what I'm saying? We know what fights we want to see. That's the craziest shit, man, because the shit that they're talking about nowadays, where like, oh, well, if we fight Lomachenko, or if we fight if Anthony Joshua fights Deontay Wilder, then who is he going to fight later on in his career? Nobody was saying that about Mike Tyson. Nobody was. Vasyl Lomachenko and Tank Davis, all right? Nobody was saying, oh, if you fight Lomachenko, right now, well, that literally just disgusted me just saying it. It literally just disgusted me. And anyways, when Floyd Mayweather was fighting, when he was fighting Oscar De La Hoya, nobody was saying, oh, well, if you fight Oscar De La Hoya right now, well, then who are you going to fight later on in your career? When Vasyl started fighting, and he fought Salido and lost his Salido, and he fought, all these other guys, when he was fighting his Romans and whoever, but they weren't saying, hey, well, if you fight Tank Davis right now, well, then who are you going to fight later on in your career? No, you got to build to that fight. Nobody was telling Muhammad Ali, if you fight Sonny Liston right now, who are you going to fight later on in your career? That's the fucking the weakest duck move excuse. The weakest duck move excuse that can be used. It's the weakest excuse. The weakest shit ever. Do you mean to tell me there will never... So if Anthony Joshua was to fight Deontay Wilder next, like they're claiming they want to do anyway. They're claiming they want Deontay Wilder on April 13th. That's what their claim is. So now the excuse is, right now, and this time, it's, and previous. So now and previous. It's, if he fights Deontay Wilder now, who is he going to fight? You guys need to hold out. Just wait. But now that he's saying, we want Deontay Wilder April 13th. Where is that, if he fights Deontay Wilder now, who he's going to fight later on in his career? Where's that excuse? Where did it go to? Where did that excuse go to? It just disappeared. Now is the okay time for him to be saying that? Fuck, whatever. It's absolutely pathetic. Absolutely. This after Mayweather, after Mayday shit, and the fact that Floyd Mayweather himself is pressing this. This dude needs the same medicine that Kanye finally took to come back to his senses. That's what he needs. Because he's not understanding that the casual fan follows his word. The casual fan. Because all the casual fans, they were all Floyd Mayweather haters. They hated Floyd Mayweather. Hated him to death. Because he was a threat to the guy that they thought was the creme de la creme, i.e. Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? He was a threat. He was the guy that would derail what they believed was the guy that could beat fucking Henry Armstrong. They were saying that shit. Oh, Manny Pacquiao. Well, I think Manny Pacquiao destroys Henry Armstrong. Get the fuck out of here, man. That would have been a brutal and savage bludgeoning. He would have gotten obliterated, comparing him to fucking Sugar Ray Robinson. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, well, I think if Sugar Ray Robinson and Manny Pacquiao would have fought, in their prime, I think Manny Pacquiao would have beat him. He was just too fast, and then start comparing fights that it's pathetic. It's disgusting, even mentioning those two in the same name. Fucking disgusting. And I'm just like, you got the same shit going on right now. The very fact that Floyd Mayweather is condoning and promoting this type of behavior when he had to fight it himself disgusts me. It disgusts me. I'm looking at this dude and I'm just like, the money and the fame went to this boy's head. It went to his head, and this dude has just lost common sense. He's lost touch with reality. Floyd Mayweather, who the casuals follow, chose to forget where he came from. He chose to forget that. He chose to forget where he came from. He chose to forget the fact that he was calling out all these fighters, and none of them wanted no work with him. They was avoiding him. He was looked at as the most avoided fighter in the 2000s. There's articles about that. About these fighters avoiding him. You know what I'm saying? That's what he was looked at. The most avoided fighter in the 2000s. But he's condoning avoiding fighters. He's promoting that. That's okay with him. He wasn't saying shit when Oscar A-side, B-side his bitch ass. He wasn't saying nothing. Nothing. Not a fucking thing. He was mad as fuck when he got A-side, B-sided. But now, it's okay, since he's the A-side in all his fights, it's okay for him to say that about somebody else. Why? Because his business is boxing. That's why. So talking nice to these guys is a good way to try to maybe in the future get them on the money team. Get them in TMT. His business is boxing. It's no longer boxing is a business. It's no longer that. So it's refreshing. That's why I support these guys. Those are my fighters. Wilder, Charlos, Hurd, Lomachenko. Those are my fighters. Those are the fighters that want all the smoke. Those are the fighters, Luis Ortiz. Those are the guys that are calling out everybody. Those are the guys that are saying, this is what I want. Nope, I'm not trying to wait. I want it now. And you can tell when someone wants to duck because they're going to come out with ducking excuses. The ducking excuse of, oh, well, why are we rushing? Why are we rushing this fight? And then the casuals don't know no better. So all you're going to do is you're going to hear them regurgitating what those guys say. When the Eddie Hearns and the fucking Anthony Joshuas, and the fucking Tank Davises and all these other fucking guys that are ducking, the Golovkins, the Canelos, when all of them come out and start saying, oh, well, there's no rush. He's look how old this fighter is, so they've got to rush. I see why they're rushing. Why they're rushing for whatever reason. They've got to rush. I've got this long a time in my sport, and then you got the casuals coming right back out, right behind them, saying, yeah, hey, why are you rushing? You're rushing. They gotta rush. You're old. They gotta rush. He has to push this, right? And then they'll take that same thing and flip it. They'll flip it because, 1 second Joshua will say, oh, they're rushing Wilder for some reason. They're rushing him for real, but I'm young in my career, right? And then they'll flip that and when it doesn't fit their narrative, and they'll say, oh, well, you have 40 fights, Deontay Wilder. And you're 40 fights. Why didn't you fight this person? Why didn't you fight somebody? You didn't fight anybody. 40 bums. 40 fights and 40 bums. And Anthony Joshua, he was rushed. And he's fought all these top guys. But they'll just flip it. They'll just flip it whenever it works for them. They just keep flipping it. It's fucking disgusting, man. It's fucking disgusting. So when I see the Wilders, that are calling for everybody. I see the Jarrett Hurds that are calling for everybody. You know what I'm saying? That are like, we want that smoke. We want it now. We ain't trying to age nobody out. When I see the Lomachenkos calling for everybody, you know what I'm saying? That's type of shit out. That's what I fuck with. The Luis Ortizes. That's boxing. Those are fighters that make boxing their business. Those are not fighters whose business happens to be boxing. There is a difference. BFTB and I'm out.